Welcome to the Sports Car Lessons Podcast. I'm your host, Big Ken. Whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on a streaming service, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You'll be notified whenever I drop any new content. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Happy Easter to those of you who celebrate Easter Sunday. Hopefully, getting together with family and friends. Always love holidays to get together with family. How about those Yukon Huskies, men, both the men and women, winning yesterday on Saturday? Exciting times here in Connecticut to be a Husky fan or just a fan of the of your local college. Shout out to Jeff at Jeff's Cards for coming on Thursday's episode. It was a great conversation. If you missed any of it, definitely go back and give it a listen. Quiet hobby weekend. I had no shows this weekend. I did a little traveling yesterday. Saturday, I went up to Boston, walked around the city, checked out some of the sites up there. It was good. It was a fun time. I think I walked like 7 miles. So I definitely got some great exercise. But it was kind of a nice weekend outside of the hobby. It seems like every single weekend I'm at a show, I'm doing something. It's always hobby related. And it was just kind of nice maybe just to step back this weekend. And I know I'd been sick, I had COVID, so I missed a few weekends, just being home, but it was good to have a weekend off and just do something else. I was busy this week, out looking for some retail wax, actually tins. I've been actually trying to find some of the upper deck hockey tins, trying to find a Bedard card, but not paying, these excessive amounts of money, just trying to find it out in the wild, hitting the local Targets and Walmarts. And I don't even know if they're still stocking these. I'd been going out and I've never seen any of the blasters, the megas, the tins. I have 4 Targets, 4 Walmarts, all within a, you know, 15, 20 minute, 30 minute. Like I have 2 Targets in either direction I could be at in less than 10 minutes. So probably if I expand my radius to 20, 30 minutes, I could hit 4 of each. But one of the things that I've been really surprised at out trying to find these and driving to these stores is how empty the shelves have been. It reminded me of 2021 when, you'd go to Target or Walmart, knowing the days they were going to stock, knowing almost the time, knowing the schedule of these people that, and showing up and you'd already be in line. There'd already be a handful of people waiting for them to stock the shelves so you can jump in and get what you want to get, right? And then last year in 2022, there was really no one to chase. I mean, nobody was chasing anybody. I can remember walking in to these Targets and just seeing so much wax sitting on the shelves, thinking to myself, wow, it's how different it was from the year before, right? And now this year, we got people chasing the quarterbacks, the Strouds and Anthony Richardson, maybe even some Will Levis, whoever they're chasing, but people are really chasing the football quarterbacks and now hockey too. There's people buying hockey that don't watch hockey, that don't like hockey, have never seen hockey, don't even know any players or anything about the game, but they're out there buying these, just trying to pull a Bedard card out of there, right? Just trying to looking for that lottery ticket in there. But now this year, the shelves are just literally wiped out again. I mean, there's the crap stuff on there, but anything that I would be looking for, or most people would be, looking for, those shelves are just wiped out. Early in the year, when Prism was out, I was able to find some megas and some blasters, on the shelves at these stores, but new. I mean, I knew buying them, I knew checking out that if I'm not hitting a Stroud or a Richardson silver or better, I was losing money on the boxes. So that was the chance I was taking. But thankfully for me, setting up as a dealer, I do have an outlet to move any card that's better than a base card. I never bring base cards and set them up at shows because I don't think anybody's ever really going to buy base cards. I mean, I have boxes and boxes of base cards here in the house that I'm trying to look for an outlet to move some of them out of here. But I mean, I was on Facebook today and somebody said, "Hey, I'm looking for base cards." And there was like 150 people responded. Where are you at? How many do you need? I have 20,000. I have 50,000. I have over 100,000. I mean, just on and on and on. So I know I'm not the only one. There's tons of people out there sitting on so many base cards, and I just don't think people really buy base cards. But anything better than a base card, I penny sleeve, top load, throw it in a box, bring it to a show, and there's value in it. I can sell these cards. So Friday, I was out at the local, searching the local Targets and Walmarts. I was down to my last Walmart, and I found 3 Illusions mega boxes, Illusions football. And even at retail, at Walmart prices, they're not cheap, right? I mean, they're $49.99 a box. Got home, opened up the boxes. I got I can't say the hits out of the mega boxes. I'll tell you what I got. I got 2 CJ Stroud base cards, $5 each. One Anthony Richardson. It's an orange, still just like an orange base, $5. A Will Levis Illusionist, $5. 2 Will Levis Shining Stars, $4. 9 parallel rookie cards like, Mystique, Amazing, Funkadelics, things like that. And 1 orange and a King of Cards, right? And they're all going in the $2 box. They're all $2 cards. I got 1 numbered card out of that. The big hit out of all 3 boxes was a Jaleel McLaughlin. It was numbered to, it's a teal, numbered to 175. That was like an $8 card. The biggest hit out of all the boxes was like an $8 card, right? So basically less than $60 in resale value for $150 plus tax. Less than half the cost. I mean, what it was worth was less than half of what I paid for all 3 boxes. And had I bought 1 box or 2 boxes, it would have been even worse, right? I mean, probably I think one of those boxes had, the Anthony Richardson, CJ Stroud, and 2 Will Levis cards in it, right? So if I happened just to pick that 1 box, that would have been the winner, right? Out of those. And I hear everybody yelling now, don't complain, right? What about grading? The best way to increase the value and the profits of these cards. Man, I wish I could. I wish I could grade. These cards are in such horrible condition. Not 1 card was gradable. And I would have taken these base CJ Stroud or Anthony Richardson or the orange Anthony Richardson or even the Will Levis. I would have sent them out, right? I sent them out to PSA for $15, $16 to have it graded. Try to come back at 10 if it looked like it could gem. But I don't even think these cards could be 8s. I mean, every single card, even these $2, throwaways, these parallel cards are just not in good condition. They're so off-centered. They've got scratches on them. They got scrapes. They got dinged corners. They got just spots right in the middle of the card. It's incredible, how banged up these cards are. They all have some kind of issues. So to me, just a complete swing and a miss, absolute swing and a miss on buying these Illusions football. And looking at these cards, I truly believe that Panini could care less the condition of these cards leaving the factory. But why should they? Why should they bother trying to fix anything? Because you go to the store and everybody's buying them, right? The shelves are empty. So on their end, they're thinking, what do we care? Right? Why should we invest any money? Why should we change anything if we're selling out? I mean, if you're in business, it's the bottom line, right? It's all about the money. And if they're selling out all this product, why are they going to change anything? Just keep sending it. I don't care. Send it out. I don't care how bad they look. They're going to buy it. Just keep sending it out. And I'm sure that's the thought on their side. Maybe not exactly what I'm saying, but I'm sure that's the thought. We're selling out. You know, if it's not broke, why fix it? Uh, because if I didn't buy those boxes, there's somebody right behind me that would have come in and bought those boxes, right? So there's somebody buying them all the time. I think about the people who are buying this product, and it may not even be retail, right? It could be somebody that went in and bought these boxes and then, took them to a show or put them up, and now they're selling them for a profit, right? So now they're over. Maybe this 49.99 box is becoming 70 or $75 to the next person who bought it, right? So now their loss is even more than mine would have been. Uh, And if they're not setting up at shows and they have no outlet to get rid of these cards, I mean, even online, even if they're not setting up at shows and they're like, well, I'm just going to put these cards online and sell them. I mean, you still have to pay a fee, right? And the shipping, and there's a lot of things going on, just trying to sell these cards online. And I understand, I mean, I'm setting up at a show, I'm cutting out the middleman, those middleman fees, right? But I still have to pay for a table. So there's some piece of all sales that are gonna pay for the table. I understand that, but I can't imagine how they're feeling, somebody's gonna go spend 50 retail or maybe in as much as 70 or 75 aftermarket on this box and open it up and pull these cards out, what they're thinking. I mean, I'm sure these situations like this have driven people out of the hobby. Just like, opening up a box and spending all this money, and especially for a young kid too, like as an adult, we could go in and or I say as an adult, I can go in and buy a box. And if it's a complete, it's a complete miss and the box is just absolutely horrible. Okay, live and learn. Let's move on. We'll take what we can. We'll throw them in the $2 box and we'll move on to something else to put product on the table or trying to figure out a way to put product on the table. But for some of these kids that, put the money out and they're seeing with these cards, and I've been at the shows, like you go to the shows and you see these kids running around. They're going and all they're trying to buy is wax, right? They're buying, say, a cello pack of something, or a hanger box because they're the most discounted. They're maybe the most affordable to these young kids, and they rip the box open right there and they go right to the table and they're like, are you interested in buying this? And they know what the hit of the thing is. And I know they just spent, like, on a Prism hanger box, they just spent 33 or $35 on the hanger box, and the card's maybe worth 3, 4, or $5. And instead of telling them that, I would just rather say, no, I'm all set. You do see kids pull out a nice silver, and it's funny, even when they do pull one out, even a decent card, they pull out and you're like, oh, well, this is interesting. Let me look. Oh, it's off centered. Oh, there's a mark here. Oh, there's even if you do pull a great card, it could be worthless. It could be crap because, the quality control was so poor on the card that the card is not gradable. So again, I think, these situations have driven people out of the hobby, just push them out of the hobby, saying, and even the parents, on the parents' end too. So here's another thing, like the kids say, hey mom, I want this or I want that, and the parents buy it for them. Like, I don't know if the parents are thinking on the other opposite side of that, like, I'm buying you this $50 box, right? Do I care what you're getting out of it, or am I just giving it to you as a gift? And I'm buying it to you just to give you, and then you can do whatever you want it. Or there's parents that are on the other end saying, hey, what was in that box? Was it worth it? Did you get a $50 card out of that box? Or start asking questions. So is there parents going to be on the other side saying, wait a minute, this is my hard-earned money that I'm giving you to buy this box, and you spent $50 on the box, but you only got $10 for the card that came out of it. So, what gives here? What's wrong? So I think the parents are going to be asking these questions too, right? And it may, put a bad taste in the parents' mouth saying, yeah, I'm not going to spend $50 on a box that you're getting a $10 card out of. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Just here, take $50 and go buy a card, right? Or go buy something that's worth $50. People, they talk for and against the repackers, but you think of the psychology of it. You go out and you buy a $50 box at a retail store. You may get a $10 card. Who knows? You could get a $500 card. I mean, it could be the opposite end of that too, right? But it's the same mentality, right? But it's a little more structured with the repackers, right? When you're going in and you're saying, okay, these cards will go from $100 will be the lowest, and the highest will be $1,000, right? And we're selling these packages or whatever they are, these boxes at $300 a box. So you're still taking your chance, but at least you're getting something back, and your odds, if it's done correctly, if it's listed out saying here's all the hits in the box and these are the ones you can get, there's these, there's 10 of them in here, these 3 are on the low end, these 3 are on the high end, and these 4 are right at the price you paid, right? So now you have, a 1 in 7 chance of either equaling your money or doing better versus 3 that you could lose money on. And it's almost seems like a better makes more sense to get into something like that, because at least you're getting somewhat of your money back versus you're buying a retail box and you have no idea. And mostly, like, I opened a lot of the Prism blasters and the megas, and I know they were crap. And even when I got decent cards out of them, at best PSA 9s. So I understand probably more than most, or as much as, about the difficulties of trying to buy these boxes and just having a terrible return on investment and hoping for something better, right? When I talk about the kids doing that at the show, I'm like, I'm doing the same thing, right? I'm the same. I'm going to the store, I'm buying the box, I'm opening it up, I'm like, oh, you know, I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing the same thing they are. It's just maybe I can afford it more than they can, right? And you'd hate to see that these situations will push people out. But on the other hand, they're going to hit, the kid who does open it up and hits this $500 card, he's going to be hooked, right? He'll be the kid that'll be at every show buying every box, thinking it's gonna happen over and over. I think back when I got back into the hobby, and I pulled out all my hockey and my football cards, thinking, hey, I'm rich here. Like, I got a lot of money here. And then I had to find out that they were just worthless junk wax, right? It's just like, and it happened to more of us than, I mean, there are some people who went back and pulled out, Jordan rookies and things like that, and Gretzky rookies, but most of us were pulling out junk wax. And recently, I've been thinking about, I know Spectra football just came out, and a lot of people are doing, breaks on Spectra football. So like I do, I go to YouTube and I start watching these breaks, and I'm watching these Spectra hobby breaks and realizing that the top hits coming out of those boxes has the same return on investment as these retail blasters and megas. It's just, I mean, I know these boxes are like $800-900 a box, and you pull an Anthony Richardson auto that's coming out of there. That auto is right now is sitting on eBay for like $200 or $240. It's like, well, wait a minute. If that's the best card that came out of that box, and that box cost $900 or I think it's $869 or $879. And the hit coming out of that box, and I know there's 4 autos that come out of there, but, you know, most of those autos are, $100, $200, right? So you would think that, and I've watched cases being open where usually in a whole case, there's usually one Anthony Richardson auto card, you know, in there. And you would think that one card could cover the cost of a hobby box, right? You would just assume like I want to hit a box, right? I'm going to pay my 800, but I could get 1,500 or $2,000 in cards out of there. But that's really not it. I don't think I've seen any boxes opened that equaled $800-900. I mean, okay, maybe they have, but nothing really over it. Nothing that much over it, and a lot of boxes, a lot less, definitely a lot less than the $800-900. So it's just crazy. It's crazy when you sit, and if you really think, and if you really like if you're like me and you've gotten beat up before on things like this, like if there's anything that's expensive, I say let me go see what's happened to other people. And I use YouTube as a tool, right? I go in there for research and I'll watch cases of stuff being open just to see, because there's a pattern. I mean, if you watch enough breaks, you'll see a pattern of all these boxes, and one case after another case after another case. It's the same stuff. You know what cards are coming, and what to expect. So if I watch 2, 3, 4 cases open, then I think it's just disgusting what's coming out of it. There's no way I'm going to make any investment, put any money into that product. What will I do? I'll go get on eBay if there's something on there I really want. And I know, and here, this has been a hack, and I've been talking about this. I just been buying, these ridiculously cheap redemption cards that people are putting on eBay. And it's funny because like any of the primetime redemption cards that end at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, I mean, they go for, they could go upwards of 60, 80, 100, $150. People are fighting over it, which I just don't understand. But then all of a sudden you have these redemption cards that are ending at 11 o'clock in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, 1:50 a.m., something like that. And nobody's even bidding on these things. And I'm getting them. I think I've picked up probably 20, 25, and I haven't spent over $45 on any redemption card. And they're all quarterbacks. I mean, they're all, and I picked up one wide receiver, one tight end, but the rest have been all quarterbacks on there. And it's just, who knows? Is it a hack? I don't know. I'm hoping it's a hack. I'm putting them all online. I'm submitting every single one of them. When the national comes around, I'll just try to trade a bunch of those up for a black box or a white box or whatever I can get, or maybe I'll get the cards back too. And I think the cards will be worth more than I paid for the redemption. So either way, I feel it's a win-win. That's my lesson to me, right? My hack. It's something I started doing, something I figured out. I don't know. I will keep you updated. It may work out beautifully. It may be, another kick in the gut. Who knows? But one of my favorite products every year is Optic football. And speaking of wax, right? I've been waiting for this product to drop for so long. I mean, back in everybody saying, oh, there's not going to be any Optic this year. Oh, of course there is. Optic preview cards. That means it's a preview for Optic coming out. And, Optic was supposed to come out in January and then February and then March. And now I just saw they pushed that back again till the end of June. And I'm not sure what's holding up this product. I'm darn sure it can't be quality control, right? I mean, it's, the only, I think with Optic and Prism, I think there's, enough cards, enough that come out of there that, enough of them will grade out a 10. You could tell I'm looking at pop counts. So I know with Prism, there's enough, there's enough cards that are going to come out that some are going to gem. Do I think it's worth continue to buy like an Illusion product? Absolutely not. But when Optic comes, and I think Optic is a favorite of most people, and people like Optic, especially, graded 10s. You know, the problem is they're pushing it so far off that people are going to have to spend. And if it does, maybe it doesn't even drop at the end of June. But if it does drop at the end of June, I mean, coming into the national, I mean, it's going to be hard. People who pull like the Stroud or the Richardsons, right? They're going to have to pay extra to get these things graded, so they could be, if they want them, have them graded for the national. If they are releasing at the end of June, there's only a few weeks before the national. After that, it's like the third week of July. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But look, buyer beware. Buyer beware on these retail cards. It's the ROI on it. And then again, on the other side, if you're just a collector, right? If you're saying, you know what, Big Ken, I'm not doing this to make money. I'm collecting. I want these cards. I'm going to take every one of these cards. I'm going to sleeve them up. I'm going to hold on to them. And they may be me 20 years from now, right? Thinking, I'm rich, I got all these cards, and then realized that a lot of them didn't hold value. But maybe it's not about the monetary, right? Maybe it's about just the love of the card and owning the card, and this is my guy, whoever it is, any of them, like any player. It's just my guy. I'm collecting my guy. I'm a CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, Clayton Tune, whoever it is. Hendon Hooker, it's my guy, and I'm collecting, and I'm putting those cards away. Hey, then that works for you. Don't care about grading. You're collecting your guy, yes. But for most of us who are here in the hobby, it's really turns into, can I flip the card? Can I get a better return on my investment? What can I do with this card? How can I sell it? Where can I sell it? How can I move it? Right. And if you're in that lane, then buyer beware on the retail wax. That's all I have for you. Wednesday, another guest scheduled for Wednesday. So looking forward to that. I'm going to be traveling next week. So depending on my return, you may get the episode Sunday night, Monday morning, or you may get it later in the day on Monday. Just depends on when I get back. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And if you like what you hear, please definitely subscribe. And most importantly, tell a friend and spread the word. Until next time, take care of yourselves and everyone around you.